Maximus at your service, milady. Level 82 DM. Gentleman, feminist, sandwich lover, burrito lover, woman lover.
Seeking truth is hard. To fully understand the truth, not only you need to fight hard through collecting evidence, testing and applying it through your own senses, but you also need to fight your own natural tendency of twisting the truth into something it is not. In other words, coping, watering down the truth so that you feel better with yourself if that truth hits you hard. You also need to be careful if the evidences and the statistics are created from viable sources who are not biased in their approach to their studies. You also need to be careful and look at the presenter or the speaker of the truth via two lenses. The lens of hearing what he says and the lens of understanding the intention behind what he says. Many people say random things to hide their true intentions in life. You also need to be careful of not losing yourself in the truth, as when the realities of the world open up to you, you cannot unsee them anymore. You can't unsee what has been seen. Welcome back everybody to another video. Even though I record videos where I discuss the things I find true, some of you get annoyed when I constantly mention the word black pill. And by some, I mean like 3 of my friends in real life who still watch my videos for some reason. Why are you talking about a defeated mentality constantly? Why are you always bringing up that stupid black pill ideology? Guys, the black pill in itself is not an ideology. It is not a set of beliefs or whatnot. The term black pill is supposed to stand for the term hard to swallow truth or hard to swallow pill. What people do with it is a completely different story, and I get mildly infuriated every time I try to explain something using those 2 words, and then I get disregarded because the community has a bad reputation. The black pill is not a reason why someone is defeated, or nihilistic, or a completed loser or an incel. The black pill does not cause that. It is the life. It is life circumstances and genetics that cause someone to become those. The black pill is there to offer an explanation, the truth on why someone ended up like that. That is the reason why the black pill community is filled with incels and losers, because that is the only place on the internet where they can express their frustrations and misfortunes without someone putting the blame on them. Yes, I agree, some of them are to blame for their misfortunes because they are self-caused, but many of them aren't. Yes, blame the guy who is 5 feet 3 inches tall, who cannot find a romantic relationship with the opposite sex because he did not work hard in life. Yes, blame the person with a messed up face who has been traumatized his whole life from social interactions because he is facing apathy and nihilism in life. Yes, blame the incel who never got any choosing signals from women because he never cold approached. It is incredibly easy to point out the blame in others and completely disregard their reality. It takes effort to truly understand someone deeply. It takes effort to step into someone else's shoes. And even through that effort, you will never understand someone deeply because you never experienced what they saw, what they felt at the moments of uncertainty and fear. You do not have their brain chemistry and their genetics. What you would do in their place is something you still visualized partially with your own body. If you were them, with their past experiences, you would probably act as they are acting right now. It is easy to toss shallow and bold advices when you have reached the top. Just to do this, just to do that. Anyways, I'm going off topic slightly. The point of this video and the reason why I'm making it is to deliver the importance from the impact of the truth. So I will deliver to you some important things I learned that may just save your mental health a little bit on your pursuit towards the truth. I will not be directly speaking about truth or the black pills, like the importance of face or the importance of pre-selection, height, status, globalization, and all of these black pill terms you see thrown everywhere. But I will be speaking more about the dangers or the highlights of the road towards uncovering the truth, your journey towards discovering the hard realities of the world. The term truth will be used broadly. Yeah. So let's go.
Say, I was eating some booty cheeks and the stupid bitch shit in my mouth. Can you smell it? Nah, nigga, you could...
People will not change their mind just because you want them to understand a concept. You can present some hard set evidence, hard statistics. You can set examples that they may fully understand because it is related to their lives. Yet some people straight up want to remain ignorant. Maybe because they don't care, maybe because of their ego and the fact that it will take a massive hit if you win that argument. Maybe because it does not affect their lives whatsoever, which is just annoying. Then you start to question who are you even talking to. The majority of people will not care a single bit about truths, as they believe the truth do not affect them, which is the reason why you should really question who you surround yourself with. Can your close ones understand concepts that you understand, or do they even want to understand them in the first place? That is the reason why many people are more connected to their phones more than their own families, because with the availability of information, it is easier to find online communities and completely alienate yourself from your close ones. Plus, life changed so fast in the last 50 years. Technological advancement is getting faster and faster. Older generations just cannot connect and relate to the younger audiences anymore. Imagine 1000 years ago, a village where nothing ever happens, where generations and generations of people basically were doing the same things over and over again, when older and younger generations could function together smoothly. But now, in the new age, your grandpa probably built a house from scratch, worked a hard labor job and got a wife with ease, whilst you are right now, 20 years old, work a minimum wage job, have minimal dating experience, are broke, and are probably chronically online. What piece of advice can a boomer right now give you? Work an honest job with good pay, find a wife and be happy? To me, I don't really see honest jobs that pay good money, and I don't really see wife materials on the streets anymore. To return back to the question, can your close ones understand concepts that you understand? Do they even want to spend their time of day to understand them? Maybe you are the foolish one, and your perspective of the truth is slightly bent, so your close ones will help you return back to reality. Only if those so-called close ones will actually dive into a civil and intellectual discussion about the truth, and not just be stubborn and ignorant. The importance of friendship is very high, man. Just having people around with whom you can discuss topics, having that back and forth going. Trust me, when you are chronically stuck in your head, constantly spinning ideas, and not having a method of venting that shit out, it will hurt you, man. It will leave heavy psychological damage, making you slightly more autistic day in and day out. That is the reason why there are so many videos on YouTube of just people talking about their day-to-day life. I hate going to work. I never kissed a girl. I feel like I have not accomplished anything in my life. Because they do not have anyone close enough to open up to talk to them about these topics in real life, out of fear of being misunderstood or shamed. Maybe some of them do, and just see the benefit of sharing their stories to the wider audience for the sake of gaining views and popularity. Some people just do not care about the truth whatsoever, and you cannot do anything to change them. You can lead them towards it. You can give them the keys to the door, but you cannot open the door for them. Better analogy, you can bring the horse to the water, but you cannot make it drink the water. Moving to the topic of self-awareness, you still perceive everything through your own senses, plus you still process everything with your own bias. Even though I try to make most of my videos objective, I still understand that I present topics and ideas through my own lens, which means I consume information through my own eyes and ears, process it in my own brain, and deliver it through my own mouth. A lot of objective information can turn subjective just through that process. It is the same case with people who conduct researches and studies. Even though science focuses on objective truths, many scientists and data collectors may have a bias towards conducting their specific research. That is the reason why many studies who are outdated turn out to be false when conducted again. But once again, it is the matter of perspective, which makes you question, is anything real? If I consume the objective world subjectively and learn about the world subjectively from others, what is the objective reality then? We will not be going down through that road, because it will lead down to lazy intellectual discussions of what is real? Nothing is real anymore. Everything is subjective, everything is this, everything is that. And then we just spin around and we cannot really come to the same conclusions. What I want to say is that your perception of the truth can be tainted by your own bias. Here is an example. My friend and I both agree that face, money, hard work, genetics, status, height, physique, your game, your confidence are very important in the pursuit of girls, and just generally for the quality of life. But due to our own biases and perspectives, we tend to place different importance on each one of them. You can try and start a discussion about what is objectively more important between those factors, but due to our own biases, we will never fully agree and come to the conclusion on the same answer. This also affects you. You may believe something purely out of ego, purely because you wanted it to be true. You are not immune to this. Just because you are black-pilled or red-pilled, you are not immune to your own bias. You will tend to seek information that validate your worldviews and disregard the ones that contradict it. Drop your ego and question yourself here and there. Could I be wrong about this? Where could I have messed up in my own thinking? You will either find things that you were wrong about and change your worldviews for the better, or you will find gaps in your own logic that need to be reinforced. Which leads me to this: if the truth shall kill them, let them die. Maybe a little bit corny, maybe the quote is a bit extreme, but it still holds importance in its statement. The truth can either build a person or destroy it, depending with whom you speak or whom you provide the so-called truth. Be prepared for major gaslighting, major twisting of realities. Some people cannot handle the truth at first, and when you hit them raw with it, they will gaslight you. They will cope and deny your ideas, calling you an idiot, telling you have a loser mentality. As I already said, even if you present hard evidence and studies to them, they will deny it outright. They will call you an incel, a word that basically lost all meaning. Imagine trying to explain something that you learned about this world, and the world calls you a virgin. Funny as fuck, man. What I want to say is that at the end of the day, the only real person who is with you 100% of the time is you. Lying to other people is already bad, but lying to yourself is a sin in my book. Stand strong for what you find to be truth. I understand hiding it from other people, as those people can dog on you for that. But at least to yourself, be real. Be raw with yourself. That is the reason why I do not spend that much time on here talking about self-improvement topics like meditating, working out and similar, because I believe that the truth to ascending and being successful in life, for example, in the dating and mating marketplace, is heavily influenced by things outside of your control, like your genetics and how your environment raised you. And the more I grow older, the more I see it that way. I understand that I may piss some people off, the people who believe that you can change anything you want as long as you work hard towards it, but that is how I see it. Maybe it is because I'm young and still foolish, I guess, but genetic determinism and learning about the world and the truth about human nature and looks maxing truly takes a huge toll on your perspective of the world. And once you try to express your perspective about the world, you will be punished for it. Nah, brother, you're stupid and delusional. That is not how the world works. Nah, man, you got it all twisted. Yeah, man, I got it twisted from observing it with my own eyes. Like, yeah, right. When we are encountered with some deep and harsh truths that leave a bitter taste in our own mouths, we tend to cope by trying to find solutions around it, trying to find solutions to our own problems once we discover we have a problem. This may sound nihilistic and depressing, but some things just cannot be fixed. That is the reason why I dislike the modern representation of self-improvement on YouTube and social media. It is because it treats life as a problem that needs to be fixed. Every single detail about you that can be seen as a problem should be fixed. And I understand why. With social media, with the exposure of seemingly perfect humans, we became extremely self-conscious about our own looks and behaviors. And because of the average guy out there being pretty much invisible to the world, so much stress and effort is placed on becoming a Chad, leading us to start overthinking about ourselves and trying to change ourselves to fit in the modern social norms. But many cannot achieve that. Yes, you can definitely do things to boost your chances in life, but the question is, to what extent? How many people you know who just revolve their lives on self-improvement? Everything they do is self-improvement. Every single aspect of them is being destroyed and rebuilt into something, into improvement. But that is not you, man. You are losing yourself. You're placing so much effort and brain power on coping around the truths, instead of just accepting it and using your time for something productive. There are some harsh truths that just need to be accepted as they are. Life is not a problem that needs to be fixed. Some truths just have to stand there without effective solutions, and accepting them and moving on is the only right way. To end off the video, I will quickly list out cognitive traps, logical fallacies, mental shortcuts, and psychological distortions that you must, and I say must, pay attention to your pursuit of truth. Confirmation bias. Seeking information that confirms your beliefs and ignoring what contradicts them. Selection bias. Forming conclusions based on a non-representative sample of data. Anchoring bias. Letting the first piece of information overly influence your judgment. Availability heretic. Assuming something is common or true because it's easily to recall, often due to news or personal experiences. Survivorship bias, focusing on success stories whilst ignoring the countless failures. The halo effect. If something is good looking or confident, we assume they're intelligent or good in other ways. The horns effect. It is basically the same as halo effect, just in the opposite way. Dunning-Kruger effect. The less you know, the more confident you are in what you think you know. Cognitive dissonance. Rejecting evidence because accepting it would be emotionally uncomfortable. Optimism-pessimism bias. Seeing things as better or worse than they truly are because it fits your worldview. Correlation does not mean causation. Just because two things occur together does not mean one causes the other. Post hoc fallacy. Thinking A caused B simply because A happened first. Strawman fallacy. Misrepresenting someone's argument to make it easier to attack. False dichotomy. Presenting only two options when more exist. Because you want the idea that the guy you're talking to wants to fall into choosing between one or two, even though there are many other options. You're either with us or against us. Appeal to authority. Believing something is true simply because an expert or celebrity said it. Appeal to popularity. Assuming something is true because everyone believes it. Slippery slope. Claiming one action will inevitably lead to extreme consequences without evidence. Circular reasoning. Using the conclusion as a premise. It's true because it's true. Ad hominem. Attacking the person instead of the argument. Hasty generalization. Drawing broad conclusions from limited data. In-group bias. Believing your group is more correct, moral, or intelligent than others. Projection. Ascribing your own motives, fears, or desires onto others. Out of sight, out of mind. If something isn't immediately visible, people assume it is not happening. Normalcy bias. Refusing to believe anything will change because it has always been stable. Social conformity. Agreeing with the group even if you believe they're wrong. Incentive bias. People's belief often follow their incentives, money, status, or power. Negativity bias. Giving more weight to negative events or information than positive ones. Self-serving bias. Attributing your success to skill and your failures to external causes. The narrative fallacy. Assuming events must fit into a neat story, even though reality is often random and complex. The blind spot bias. Believing you are less biased than other people. And that is that for the video. Thank you everybody for watching. I hope that you will have a wonderful night, wonderful evening or morning, depending on when you will be watching this video, depending on when I will be uploading it. Just some few notes to end off this video. Just because you know the truth, or just because you think you know the truth, please don't act ignorant. Please don't act, not really ignorant, but please do not be full of yourself. Do not let ego consume you just because you know things that other people don't know. Because many people don't know that they don't know, and everybody thinks that they know the truth. That's kind of the hard thing about humanity and just human nature. Because everybody believes that they know the truth about the solutions to this life, to everything. But just because you know it much more deeply, or just because you know the true truth of the world, even though everything we perceive are through subjective means, please do not act arrogant, that's the word. Not ignorant, but arrogant. Because it will be a huge detriment to your life. Once people see that you're acting arrogant and just like a complete and fucking idiot who's full of himself, they will not like your ass, and that's gonna just kill you mentally. So yeah, thank you everybody for watching, and see you in the next videos.